and welcome to the video of our MSC Virtuosa cruise, 5 days, the 20th to the 25th of October 2024, calling into Amsterdam, Cobh near Cork in Ireland, and was meant to be Falmouth in Cornwall, but instead we detoured to Weymouth, which was actually Portland Port. So here we are, arriving on the Sunday the 20th in Horizon Terminal in Southampton, and nothing quite prepares you for how big a 180,000 ton cruise ship is when you get there and it appears on the horizon. Here we are, queuing up to drop our suitcases off. If you haven't got tags, then there's a desk that we just went past that the tags, they put tags on for you. It's all very fast, slick operation, and these cases then just get delivered to the corridors just outside of your room or your cabin, to use proper nautical terminology. This is security, a little bit like airport security, but not quite as stringent. And you can see in the windows behind the cruise ship, domineering over everything.
Just about to board MSC Virtuosa. It's a lot busier here than last time. The last time we were here about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was after the Lord Mayor's show. This is prime time, I think.
So once through the scanners, you go up to the desk to check you in, even if you've already checked in online, or just to give you your boarding stickers, which are just green stickers on the sheet that you take past someone who's admitting you to the boarding gate.
Oh, that's all right, thank you.
Green stickers. Oh, they're on there. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Thank you so much. Hi, two of you. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Again, seeing a cruise ship that size in real life is very different to seeing it on the screen like this. This is the boarding experience. All very smooth so far. We were directed down onto the ground to get on via some old-fashioned walkways rather than the high-tech ones up there. I'm not sure why they were moving between them.
She's a big girl.
On this one we picked the Aurea experience with a cabin on deck 11. We chose a balcony cabin. We had the unlimited drinks package and the Browse internet package.
Oh, yeah, right. Thank you. No worries.
You can't film going through security going into the ship. They tell you to turn off cameras. But as soon as you pass that, after a few seconds, then you can, and you're into the atrium. We've got 3 decks, which is 5, 6 and 7. And MSC fragrance is everywhere. So from here, we went straight to the buffet and got the famous pizza. That is charcoal pizza, and they bake a cake for every voyage. That's the Sky Lounge, and here we are trying to find our cabin.
Oh, the other way. 226. 226. So let's go over this way.
You will find your cruise cards in that little slip there, And this was a surprise for us. Someone else's underwear from the cruise before was left in the room. I did try and get it back to them on Facebook groups, but it never happened, so we took it to reception in the end. This is a huge plus for Virtuosa and other cruise ships which have this, the gallery of Virtuosa with the roof screen, which looks absolutely stunning. We've always got some music going on in the atrium. And because you've got highly polished mirrors on the ceiling of the atrium, it looks a lot taller than it is. So on the evening of the embarkation day, like everyone else, we went to see a show, multiple showings on each night. I think this one was Wait Before You Go, something like that. It was the George Michael 80s themed show. And now on to day 2, travelling to Amsterdam. This was the Amsterdam shipping canal, and Extinction Rebellion were there protesting and had chained themselves to the locks. So we had to wait a little bit while they were cut off the locks and removed. I don't really have anything against their cause. They're fighting for what they believe in, which is absolutely fine with me. And getting moving again, going through the lock, which is a little bit like the Thames barrier for the Thames. And while we were cruising into Amsterdam along the shipping canal, we went into the top 19 area, which is an Aurea benefit area. And it has an extra hot tub at the top, and you get pretty much no one up there almost the entire time. You may do if the weather's better. That's really high up. It's the 19th deck of the ship, 102 meters above sea level. And then getting off the ship in Amsterdam, Amsterdam cruise port, again you get to see the sheer scale of the ship up close. Amsterdam was really pretty. We've been there once before. It was nice to have a bit more of a look around. This time we just walked around. We didn't book anything. We'd done the Anne Frank Museum before, which is recommended. And then on this time we just decided we wanted to get an authentic stroopwafel. So I went to this particular stroopwafel bakery that had good reviews. Lots of caramel. And then doing a big loop, walking back around, getting the steps in. and then back on board for some drinks and partying. So this is the end of day 1, and we are about to go down for some food. It is 8:10, and what's the restaurant called? Il Campo closes at 9, so we better get a move on. I'd had a few to drink at that point, as was probably apparent. So after Il Campo restaurant, which is the anytime dining room for Aurea, we went into the first of our carousel shows with a cocktail included, and I think these are really great value for money. They're really entertaining shows. We've seen them both before, and we booked to see both again. It was pretty much the same show as last time, but still really entertaining. This one, Archimia, I don't think is quite as good as the other one, Ayadre. The other one is chess related, and I think it's a little bit more acrobatic. So this is a sea day going back across from Amsterdam over to Cobh, and there's me looking out to sea. There's the UK, we're going back through the English Channel, heading westward, and that is probably Dover. Or maybe Eastbourne, I'm not sure. Sea days, I always struggle for things to do, so we did a trivia quiz. Didn't do very well, so I was quite surprised at. It was a beer quiz, and we had hot chocolate in Jean-Pierre, is it called? And then the next day, here we are arriving into Cobh after a little bit of a rocky night. So Cobh, spelled C-O-B-H, is the port a little bit further south from Cork. Used to be called Queenstown and was the final stop for Titanic before heading across the Atlantic to its fate. While we were here, we visited the Titanic experience, which was great. then back on board after doing the Titanic experience. Some really nice pubs in Cobh, lots of nice gift shops. Well worth a look around there instead of taking the train to Cork. It's always nice during a port day when you get back on board and it's nice and quiet when people are still out. And we had a bit of a rocky night on the way out from Cobh back across the, I don't think it's the Irish Sea, I think it's the Celtic Sea, going east back across towards Falmouth, but by this point they'd already told us that we weren't going to Falmouth. We were going to Weymouth via the port of Portland. We were sailing into 30 knot winds, pretty much head on, and the sea was a little bit rough. I'm sure it's been a lot worse on other cruises, and I'm sure it could be a lot worse. This was just a gentle rocking, so it wasn't too bad at all. And then the next day, much nicer weather. Sea a lot calmer. Slowly cruising into Portland. This was going down to the main dining room for breakfast. When they serve breakfast in the main dining room, it's sometimes nicer to do that than go into the marketplace buffet where it can get quite busy. If you get there early, you avoid the queues. So here we are docking at Portland, which is a working shipping port. I was fascinated by what they were unloading from this, what looked like an oil tanker, but it was either grain or sand going through some kind of filter there into a truck. On this day, we decided to head into Weymouth a little bit later because you had to take buses out of the port that potentially were going to get quite busy. So we left it a little bit and went back up to the top 19 solarium, the exclusive Aurea area. I went back in the hot tub again. And with Aurea you get the use of some bathrobes that you can use to walk between your cabin and the top 19 solarium or anywhere else, and some slippers, and you can keep the slippers but you can't keep the bathrobes. I had to check on that. We also got a free gift of a room diffuser, MSC fragrance, and you also get a bottle of Prosecco and some dark chocolate every time, plus 24/7 room service, which we didn't use unfortunately, and of course, as I've already mentioned, the anytime dining in Il Campo. Potentially the anytime dining is worth the upgrade fee by itself if you really would like the freedom to go and eat in the main dining room whenever you want to. This area was nice and quiet as well at all times. This was getting off at Portland, walking around the queue barriers. Again, dumbstruck at the awesome sight of something that big that floats. And then seeing it from miles away. I didn't realise that we'd parked pretty much opposite Bibby Stockholm, which was famous in the news as a refugee housing boat, which is due to be decommissioned pretty soon, I think. And then on the evening, leaving Portland for the 50-mile slow sail around Swanage back into Southampton overnight. I didn't realise that a sail away from Portland you were given a cannon salute. So there were some guys there just on the edge with a cannon. There goes. You get two of those. And the ship responds back. And this was our final night. Taking in the beautiful gallery of Virtuosa. Drinking in Masters of the Seas, eating in El Campo again. It's the same food as any other main dining room, but you can choose when to go and it's a lot less crowded. And we saw the second carousel show. This time a Yedre, I don't know how to say it, a Yedre. Which I'll always keep paying to see because I find them great entertainment. And that's pretty much it. The next morning we arrived in Southampton and got off and
Thank you.
went back to real life.
Oops, sorry.
Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions that I can help with. Hope you found this interesting.